Hey everyone, this is J-Dog, and I'm here with another video. I knew this was going to happen. I just knew it. We knew that all this talk about allowing trans athletes to compete in women's sports was going to lead to this. In the past, you had this diverse equality of the alphabet community trying to fight for trans women to be allowed to compete in women's division because the trans person decided to say that that he was the fact that the trans person was born a man but wants to become a woman, that he should be allowed, that person should be allowed to compete in the women's league. And then you see all these stories of how they're stealing a lot of the stuff, how women athletes are being robbed of championships, getting hurt physically badly, because remember, even though they transition, they still have that male testosterone. So unless, of course, they find something to get rid of full masculinity testosterone off that individual, they're going to still have that advantage. And that's why they'll be like, what's with this whole transition thing? And then, of course, if you talk about it, you'll be called some kind of phobic or something like that, and then they'll try to discard you. The reason why I'm saying this is because you have these three women right here, and I'm thinking that I'm actually rooting for these women to win. You'd be like, why are you doing that, J-Dog? Why are you doing that? Well, the reason why is because you have three Connecticut high school women, girls, who had had enough and now are suing over policies that are allowing trans athletes to compete in women's sports. Because like I said, this is going, if they do not win this case, think of how many women will be cheated out of sports because of this transition. The reason why women's sports was created was to help give women, natural born women, equal opportunity to compete in sports, and or at least have sports league of their own, because in the past there was nothing for women to do other than be housekeepers, be makeup artists, just be the stay-at-home housekeeping. But women wanted more opportunities and more active activities like sports, politics, whatsoever. So that's why we have women's sports, and why we have different divisions based off of gender. This division for men, this division for women. Because we know that there's a body disadvantage when it comes to men compared to women in sports. That's why we have a men's division and women's division. And yet you have men who, let's face it, the real reason why they're saying that they all of a sudden want to feel like they're a woman in the inside is because they don't have their masculinity was not strong enough to compete against other men who are stronger. So they figure, why don't we just do the cowardly way and just compete in the women's division? But let's face it, the trans, they can't accept their body, and also, especially trans women, men who are born natural born men, but then all of a sudden want to identify as a female. Let's face it, they're not strong enough to do the masculine stuff that real other men can do. They couldn't compete in the men's division and win, so they figured, let's cheat by trying to take championships away from females, even females who are stronger than them, and stuff like that, because they know they have an even better advantage over women than they will have over other men. So all of a sudden they want to transition into women and compete in the women's activities, and then try to take records away, take trophies away. But this also, it's also doing is it takes women's opportunity away. See, this is what the trans community doesn't understand. I know you want, why don't you just create at least, if you don't want to compete in the men's division, you could have created a trans division. Alright? Let's just say, let's create a trans division at least, or you just accept the fact that you was born a man, so be happy you were born a man, and compete in the men's division. Or at least create a trans division. You know what? That would have been, if they just can't accept the fact that they were born a man, create a trans division. Don't be trying to go into the women's division and try to take from them because you weren't strong enough, you weren't man enough to get it in the men's division, so you have to go to the women's division and try to take something from them. But then again, you have these alphabet activists saying trans women are women, trans women are women, and they say, no, you're being something phobic if you don't let them compete in the women's division. Look what's going on with boxing. What happened with that Eljaron Jazima, whatever his or its name is. You had Oscar De La Hoya try to get that individual to compete, to take titles away from Francois Cruz Dezern, and then it turns out that that they didn't do a test that determined whether she was that individual was an actual woman, and then they're really trying to do this because they're trying to find an opponent that could beat Clarissa Shields, but they couldn't find a natural born woman, so they're trying to make this individual pretend that this individual is a woman to compete, so they could rob Clarissa Shields of her middleweight championships, her middleweight titles. And then you heard that same individual popped dirty and lost the WBC belt, and they about to lose the WBO belts, probably, if they find more stuff on that individual, including whether or not that individual is truly a female boxer. Which means, and if that turns out that because boxing leagues, the professional boxing leagues, do not have a rule that allows trans into women's boxing, so if they find out that individual was a man competing in women's boxing, they can strip her of that other belt, take her license, take that individual's license away. I keep saying her, I meant to say individual or it. And then this could even affect Oscar De La Hoya, and he could be accused of cheating. Now back on the subject, there's also another reason why I have to bringing that up. It's because this is almost the same situation, sort of, that's happening to these young girls. Them and their parents are now suing. I haven't really read this article yet, but they're filing a lawsuit over policies that's allowing transgenders. They think, like most of us who have sense, that the allowing transition men who feel like they're women to compete is unfair, and they're rightfully so. The individuals are Selena Soul, Chelsea Mitchell, and Anna Smith, and their mothers claim in the lawsuit the Connecticut Interscholarship Athletics Conference, CIAC, policy is a violation of the Title IX Act, which bars discrimination on the basics of sex. So, I'm going to probably bring up later why I think they really want trans people to compete in the women's sports. And it'll be it's something racial going on. I mean, I know, you got 2 white women and maybe 1 black girl, but I'm gonna reveal why they're really trying to bring this transition and stuff like that later, but that's gonna be later in the video. The policy they say in the suit results in boys displacing girls in a competitive track events in Connecticut. CIAC says in a statement after the lawsuit that the policy was implemented in the 2013 and its complaint with both states and federal law. In a statement earlier this week, this article actually came out a couple weeks ago, but we need to talk about this. The American Civil Liberties Union said it will seek to join the lawsuit to defend the interests of transgender students athletes, an effort to undermine Title IX by claiming it doesn't apply to substance of girls who ultimately hurt all students and compromise the work of ending the long legacy of sex discrimination in sports. Chase Strango with the ACLU said in a statement, CNN reached out to the 5 Connecticut boards of education named as defendants in the lawsuit. James Thomas, the superintendent of the Bloomberg Public Schools, said in a statement the school system adheres to Connecticut Interscholarship Athlete Conference guidelines that allows transgender high school athletes to compete in CIAC athletic programs without restrictions and consistent with their gender identity. Scholastic's Public School Board of Education did not comment. I am a runner and I'll keep running. Yeah, except, like I said before, that testosterone level, even though they transition, they still have that men testosterone in their body that helps them get an advantage against women athletes. Not saying that women can't beat them, not saying that, but it's just, most of the time, men are stronger and physically are considered stronger than females, and these people, this alphabet people, have that. These trans have that advantage, and it could hurt actual natural-born females. We've seen the reports about injuries, and then you also see some of the snobbiness and mocking of some of these trans, mocking actual natural-born women athletes, saying, you're just losers. No, they don't even care what happens to the actual female athletes when they get hurt. When it comes to that, you gotta also bring that in mind. So you had one trans tell women's athletes they're losers and that they're jealous because they lost and got hurt and stuff like that. I was like, this individual is a jackass. This individual is a jerk. When I saw that. Now anyway, said in a statement, the Alliance Defended Freedom, ADF, the conservative nonprofit that is representing the plaintiffs, said in a statement of CIAC policy, rob female athletes of opportunities because of the physical advantage of males. Right there. Right in the money. Alright, I may not be a fan of the conservatives, but I have to say, they're telling the truth on this one. They're exactly right. Like I said, that testosterone level, that strength level, they still have that regardless if you transition or not. Girls deserve to compete on a level playing field, ADF attorney Christina Holcomb said in a statement. Forcing them to compete against boys isn't fair, shatters their dreams, and destroys their athletic opportunities. Right there. Now, some sexists who hate women probably want this to happen. Now, I'm about to bring up what I wanted to bring up earlier. Some sexists who wanted to mock women or steal from women didn't post. They know that they can't get rid of women's sports altogether, so they have this plan to use trans to destroy women's sports. See, that's what the real plan is. The real plan is to destroy women's opportunity to get into business, to get into sports, to get into media, to get into politics, because you still got some men who have that sexist energy that they want to keep. They want to keep women out of certain work spaces. So they figured, why don't we use these trans? Say that we're part of the PC community we're giving diversity opportunity, but in actuality, you're just giving it to another man, another biological born man who just happens to say he or it is a woman. This is why people are concerned about the Tokyo Olympics coming up, because there's been rumors that they might try to allow trans into women's competition. That will be a stupid watch. You'll be seeing an outrage like no other. You'll be seeing a big outrage like no other from women. See, but you had, and where's the feminist movement defending these young women? Where is the feminist movement? Matter of fact, some of those feminists was actually helping the LGBT, the alphabet community, defend, saying trans women are women. Alright, so yeah, because you did have some biological women try to support trans women into being into spaces for women. But now, and I was like, you probably may want to be careful with that, because when they actually take advantage, you may be left out. They're replacing you. That's correct. They are replacing you. They're already trying to steal men away from you. Now they're trying to steal sports. And then, let's just say a law has to be created saying women have to be employed at this job. At least a certain amount of women have to be employed at this job, or a certain amount of women have to be in a political position in this particular state or city. Well, guess what? The sexist men who hate women are going to say, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we use the trans to help us out? And then if the women complain, hey, you said that person is, and then the sexist man will be like, well, ain't trans women or women? Ain't trans women or women? We'll hire someone as a woman. We're following the rules. Remember, trans woman is a woman. See, that's the situation right there. That's what you have to realize. That's what you have to realize, is that there are some sexist men who do not want no natural woman in certain spaces, period, will try to use trans to replace women. Alright, now going back to this article. CNN has reached out to the Humming Comfort folder as an example. The lawsuit mentions two transgender athletes by the names of Terrell Miller and Ayandra Yearwood, who is said began competing in the 2017 track season and brought home 15 women's state championship titles. The more we are told that we don't belong and should be ashamed of whom we are, the fewer opportunities we have to participate in sports at all, Miller said in the statement. Now, this is just one of the trans who's defending trans people being in women's competition, trans women being in women's competition, in this statement. There is a long history of excluding black girls from sports and policies and policing our bodies. She said, I am a runner and I'll keep running and keep fighting for my existence, my community, my rights, whatever. Now, this is a trans person But you know what? See, now this gets to the racial situation. Oh, it also says here the lawsuit repeatedly refers them to. I think the real reason why the racists in the alphabet community want to put trans in these women's competitions because they want to beat black female athletes. I mentioned earlier about the boxing situation, how that Algera Jazim individual thing wants to take away the titles away from Quincy Shells by beating her in a boxing match. But it turns out that that person might be a male. See, the white racists, in the alphabet community know that their natural born females may not be able to beat black women in sports. So, I mean, I know this has nothing to do with the article, but we gotta bring this part up. We got to. But you see that majority of some of these women's sports in the past, like track and field, basketball, boxing, has been highly dominated by black women. And look what's happened with tennis, thanks to the Williams sisters. Looks with gymnastics, thanks to Gabby Douglas and now Simone Biles. So they figured they'll probably get some white racist trans woman to compete against black female athletes, and then white racist athletes can get titles again. That's probably what's the goal of some of the racists within that alphabet community are trying to do. And they want to even do it to where they can do it at even the grandest stage, which is the Olympic Games. Which I hope does not happen, but we gotta be careful. I'm not really gonna read this whole article, but I'm actually hoping they win their case. I'm actually hoping these three win their case. Because what's gonna happen is if they lose, more of these trans are gonna be allowed in women's spaces. Women will not be able to have spaces, especially not black women. Because, yeah, one of these athletes is a black woman. They're not going to have spaces. We saw earlier when they were doing Black Girls Magic, you had that alphabet black trans went on social media and saying, you got to also include trans in that Black Girls Magic. I'm like, this is for women who are actually born biologically and happen to be black. See, that's the problem. But then again, like I said before, you had some women defend the alphabet community to allow trans to do that, and now the negative effects are starting to happen. But I'm hoping that there's a miracle because it's leading to a lot of confusion. It's leading to a lot of destruction. It's also pushing the alphabet agenda that's destroying humanity. Well, yeah, I'm going to say it. I don't care what people think. It's causing all kinds of confusion. It's trying to destroy biological science, and it's going to cause a lot of confusion. And that's what they want, what the alphabet agenda wants to happen. But I'm hoping these people win their case. I'm actually hoping, because if they don't won't win, it's going to lead to something worse. But we'll see what happens. But I want to know what y'all think in the comment section in the description box. Or actually in the comment section. I'll leave this article in the description box and comment section. Make sure you hit that like button, that thumbs up button. Every time you when more people hit that like button on the video, it helps make it more easier for the video to be shared all over by social media and stuff like that. What also helps is if you share this video with anyone you know that will be interested to see this video. Also, and these are supposed to help with notifications and help spread the video around. So, man, like I said, definitely hit that like button when you see this video. If you haven't subscribed, also subscribe. That also helps with notifications. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification, so you'll hopefully be able to get a notification. Sometimes even though you hit the notification, if you're not getting notifications, make sure you unsubscribe, but then resubscribe, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification. Also, check to make sure you are subscribed to this video. Subscribe to this channel, to any of my channels, whether it be on YouTube, Black Junction, Black Share, Blair, or whatever. Make sure you, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, because there's been reports of people claiming that they have been unsubscribed and they didn't unsubscribe. So make sure, check every once in a while to make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you're interested in watching more videos on my channel. Also check every once in a while to see if I make a new video or not, if you're not getting notifications. But make sure you're getting notifications, and make sure you're subscribed, and make sure you hit that like button. That helps spread the video around when more people hit that like button. I'll also leave links to all the different accounts, regardless of where you're watching this video, of all the different accounts for y'all to subscribe and follow me on, whether it be Twitter, Black Junction, YouTube, Black Share, Blair TV, or any other account I wish y'all to follow me on. Yeah, make sure you follow me on Twitter, Blair, Black Junction, YouTube, and etc. But that's all I have to say for now about this. Yeah, it's about time that there are now some women are finally starting to realize this whole letting trans into their sports, into their spaces, is going to cause some problems and confusion. And finally some women, regardless of race, ethnicity, whatsoever, finally some women are now starting to see the negative effects and are now starting to push back and fight back and stuff like that. But that's all I have to say for now. This is J-Dog. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch y'all in another video. Peace, everyone.